A nation on the Horn of Africa, Somalia has been synonymous with conflict for decades. This region, often overlooked, holds a significant place in the geopolitical landscape of Africa. Welcome to Cryptic Mystic Vault, where we explore the enigmatic tales and unsolved puzzles of history. Images of famine, piracy, and terrorism dominate headlines, painting a bleak picture of a country trapped in an endless cycle of violence. These images, while stark, only scratch the surface of the deeper issues at play. But beneath the surface of these crises lies a complex web of historical grievances, clan rivalries, and failed governance. These elements have intertwined over the years, creating a volatile environment that has been difficult to stabilize. To understand Somalia's present, we must delve into its past, exploring the events that have shaped its tumultuous journey. From colonial legacies to Cold War politics, each chapter of Somalia's history has left an indelible mark on its current state. This is the story of a nation struggling to find its footing amidst the ruins of a shattered state. The struggle is not just political, but also social and economic, affecting every aspect of life for its citizens. Somalia's story is one of resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Despite the challenges, there are countless stories of hope and perseverance that often go untold. It is a story of a people who have endured unimaginable suffering, yet continue to strive for a better future. Their resilience is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome. By shedding light on the root causes of the conflict, we can move beyond simplistic narratives and engage with the human cost of this protracted crisis. Understanding these root causes is crucial for any meaningful intervention. Only through understanding can we hope to contribute to meaningful solutions. It is through this lens of empathy and comprehension that we can begin to see a path forward for Somalia, one that honors its past while paving the way for a more stable and prosperous future. Somalia's path to its current state of turmoil is long and winding, deeply rooted in its colonial past. The seeds of unrest were sown during the era of colonialism, a time when foreign powers carved up the African continent with little regard for the intricate social fabrics that held communities together. Divided between British and Italian rule in the late 19th century, Somalia's diverse clan groups were forced into an uneasy coexistence. The colonial rulers imposed arbitrary borders, disrupting traditional clan territories and creating a patchwork of competing interests and allegiances. This artificial unity cracked upon independence in 1960 as the newly formed Somali Republic grappled with the legacy of colonial manipulation and simmering interclan tensions. The euphoria of independence was short-lived as the new nation struggled to forge a cohesive identity amidst deep-seated divisions. The promise of a unified Somalia quickly faded as power struggles emerged, culminating in a 1969 military coup led by Siad Barre. Barre's rise to power was marked by promises of modernization and national unity, but these promises soon gave way to authoritarian rule. Barre's authoritarian regime, while initially promising stability, sowed the seeds of future chaos through its brutal repression of dissent and systematic marginalization of certain clan groups. His policies favored certain clans over others, exacerbating existing tensions and creating new grievances. His regime's collapse in 1991 plunged Somalia into a civil war that continues to this day. The power vacuum left by Barre's departure led to a fierce struggle for control, with various factions vying for dominance. The resulting conflict has devastated the country, leading to widespread displacement, poverty, and instability. The legacy of colonialism, coupled with decades of authoritarian rule and interclan rivalries, has left Somalia in a state of perpetual unrest. The fall of Siad Barre's regime in 1991 marked a turning point in Somalia's history, ushering in an era of unprecedented chaos and violence. This collapse of the central authority led to a power vacuum that plunged the nation into turmoil. With the central government dissolved, the country descended into a brutal power struggle between heavily armed clan militias vying for control over territory and resources. These militias, driven by deep-seated clan loyalties and historical grievances, engaged in fierce battles that further destabilized the region. The capital, Mogadishu, once a vibrant coastal city, was reduced to rubble as rival factions battled for supremacy. Streets that were once bustling with life became war zones, and the city's infrastructure crumbled under the relentless assault. The collapse of state institutions created a vacuum that was quickly filled by warlords, opportunists who exploited the chaos to amass power and wealth. These warlords carved out their own territories, ruling with an iron fist and perpetuating the cycle of violence and instability. Ordinary Somalis caught in the crossfire faced unimaginable horrors as violence, displacement, and famine ravaged the country. Families were torn apart, and countless lives were lost as people fled their homes in search of safety and sustenance. The international community, initially slow to respond, watched in horror as Somalia descended into what many considered a failed state. Humanitarian efforts were hampered by the ongoing conflict, and the world's attention was drawn to the dire need for intervention and support to alleviate the suffering of the Somali people. In the absence of a functioning government, warlords emerged as the de facto rulers of much of Somalia. These heavily armed strongmen, often former military officers or clan leaders, exploited the chaos to establish fiefdoms, ruthlessly exploiting the population for personal gain. Their reign was characterized by brutal human rights abuses, widespread extortion, and the forced recruitment of child soldiers. The warlords' grip on power was fueled by a toxic mix of clan loyalty, access to weapons, and control over vital resources, such as ports and airports. They amassed fortunes through a combination of smuggling, extortion, and alliances with international criminal networks. Their brutal tactics and insatiable greed further fueled the cycle of violence and instability that plagued Somalia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-blowing discoveries and thrilling adventures into the past.